to my neighbors upstairs who were like, what the fuck is happening here? I am Vince Quinn at home. Joining me from the studio, Taylor Kredatus. John Barchard is not available today. He will be with us tomorrow, and I know he's already told me, and I know everybody, I've seen it in the Discord, John is certainly going to yell at me about the Cowboys. I am standing my ground on this, motherfuckers, okay? In the last month, I will go to bat for what Dallas has done. They're a respectable opponent, and if you want to make all this stink about the Texans and whatever happened, I'm sure John is going to yell all those things exactly that you're thinking at me. We will deal with that tomorrow, and specifically John Barchard, I will deal with you tomorrow. But for now, again, Taylor Kredatus here, co-hosting the show. Hello, Taylor. How you doing, pal?
Hi. And if you really feel that you shouldn't be respecting the Giants, then there's nobody to respect in the NFC anymore.
There isn't. And have I not been telling John this all season long? When the Giants were winning all these games, he's like, no, man, I'm telling you, my Giants, Brian Daboll's gonna fucking kill this division. Like, as he was doing all that, as I turned him into Macho Man Randy Savage, I was telling him all year the talent's not there. Is it not abundantly clear that the talent is just not there in New York right now? Like, they stink.
Yeah, it seemed like expert coaching just carried them for 7 weeks. And then, yesterday was a disaster for them.
It was brutal. And, like, let's do this real quick with the Giants, because I know that the biggest story out of this, obviously, is the Eagles, and we will talk about a lot of things with the Eagles. But, like, the last 6 games for the Giants, okay, 1-4-1. 1-4-1 after this great start. Oh my God, 6-1. The Giants, they're darlings. Everything's coming together. Daniel Jones is great. No, he's not. And you look at where this team is right now. They're 7-5-1. Again, they've won 1 game in their last 6. Daniel Jones sucks. And here's the other thing too. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, T, as we were at the game in New York, thanks to Philly Sports Trips. But dude, that Saquon pick. At this point, like, you could say, oh, my God, he's having an amazing year. But, dude, he's on the last year of his contract. Like, what a mess all of this is for the Giants.
It's probably going to set them back a decade because they're going to be just good enough. You know, they're not going to really go anywhere. Like, ceiling for that is, like, maybe the playoffs. And, I mean, that's probably going to be the next 5 years for those guys. So, have fun signing or not re-signing Saquon, I guess.
Yeah, great work with that number 2 overall pick, which went through 5 years. This is the best year you're going to have with him. It's a fraud year, and now you can't even draft an actual quarterback still. So, like, it's just a total joke.
And everybody knows not to draft running back in the first round, let alone that high.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's top 5. And that was when the tide had turned, and everybody was like, you probably shouldn't do this, Dave Gettleman. And Dave Gettleman was like, listen, motherfuckers, I'm going to do this. And so you
so
get
much
what
fun.
you deserve. Enjoy the Saquon jerseys, folks. What a waste for all those dumb Giants fans. Now, let's talk about the Eagles here, okay? Because, like, number one thing in all of this, when you're looking at this team and what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, dude, back-to-back absolutely dominant performances. I mean, holy shit. This game, we were sitting there, I kid you not, me and Taylor, we are sitting there. It is the beginning of the third quarter, and Taylor's like, all right, if the Eagles score again, we're going to the bus. We are leaving this game. It is not worth our time. It's a complete fucking clown show. Like, dude, we were that close. This game was a complete laugher.
Yeah, I mean, you had a complete disaster with the Siposs punt that got blocked, and they recovered it at the 15-yard line. And it didn't matter. Like, I don't think most people are even going to remember that play. And most NFL games, like, you might lose because of that.
Oh yeah, dude. When a punter goes down, it's one of those things that nobody's really prepared for, which is kind of strange. Because a lot of times it's like, oh well, the kicker does it, but he has no idea what he's doing really. And like, I get that it's different, but come on, man, you can't fucking punt anyway. Those things totally ruin games, and a lot of times you're going for it on fourth downs and all that when you wouldn't normally. Or you kick super long field goals, or just like weird shit happens. It didn't matter. Nobody cares. Britton Covey is the greatest holder of all time. Hall of Famer Britton Covey, as he's had 2 consecutive games himself as a good returner. I mean, we were sitting there in the stands, and I kept nudging you. I was like, "What?" I think I literally said this 5 times. Like, what has gotten into Britton Covey?
Yeah, you're buying all the Covey stock, so good luck finding anybody Anybody that's listening, Vince Quinn has all the Cuddy stock.
Yeah, it's a penny stock, so I might as well buy it up. But he's looking good right now, man. So like that's the thing. You're looking good in every phase of this game, and even going back to the Aaron Siposs stuff and the fourth down things and how that can screw with the game. I mean, dude, they went for that 4th and 7 with Devontae Smith, and like only elite teams can do that play.
Yeah, I mean also just the way this team has grown through the season, they're not doing that. If this was week 3. Like, if they played the Commanders game was when this Giants game was, I don't think we'd see that play happen.
Not a chance. It's like Nick goes for it on 4th downs all the time, which is why I love Nick Sirianni. He's super aggressive, and he totally understands that, and he trusts his team, and he shooks his team fucking rules. But dude, 4th and 7 is an ask. I mean, that is an ask. And
yeah, and taking the shot down the field to, the guy that you've been targeting all game.
Just gutsy as shit. That was such a badass move. I mean, like, people you don't do that. It is not normal in the course of football by any stretch of the imagination, even most aggressive teams in a lot of situations, to go for that, especially that early in the game. I mean, what was that, second quarter?
Yeah.
Like,
Devontae was getting all the looks, too, so, I mean, you could have read that play easily, too.
Yeah, was that after the sequence where he had 4 consecutive passes thrown his way, and he caught enough of them. I mean, he had 6 catches on the day, but
yeah,
dude,
it was all early from what I remember. Yeah,
he was ridiculous early in that game, and like that's part of the reason why when you think of this team overall, why it's just so absurdly dominant. I mean, what do you stop? What do you target? What can you do about anything? You can't even game plan anything because you're just going to get mauled everywhere. I mean, holy shit. A.J. Brown, unstoppable. Devontae Smith, unstoppable. Miles Sanders goes off for 144 or whatever it is and 2 touchdowns. We saw that touchdown, by the way, in full transparency because we did talk about leaving in the third quarter, like I said. We did leave early in the fourth. We walked out of that game with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There was nothing left. And then as we're at the concourse, exiting the stadium, there's a big screen out there at the front gate, and we see the Miles Sanders touchdown, and we just kind of laughed at some Giants fans that were next to us on the way out because there was a lot of them. And we kept on moving because it was crazy. But, like, you can't stop anything anywhere. Giant killer, Boston Scott. Jack Stoll and Grant Calcaterra did good things on that game on Sunday.
Yeah, great
down
blocking.
the field.
Yeah,
like good job blocking. Couple of catches for each of them. Like what do you even try to consider to defend this team right now? I have no clue.
I mean, even if you think you can hold the receivers back, like Jalen's going to get a lot of really good design runs, and especially this game. Like, I don't love him taking chances rushing, but all the ones that he did yesterday were like perfectly executed. Didn't take any unnecessary hits. Yeah, it's hard to beat right now. It really is.
It's crazy. And by the way, it's something that I was arguing for a couple of weeks ago. I said 7 carries for Jalen Hurts was around the sweet spot. 7 for 77. You're all welcome. Okay. So that's one thing with the offense. And then, yeah, man, I mean, other side of this and what makes it so dominant, because now you're seeing the offense come alive. We're seeing the special teams come alive outside of a blocked punt and like, what the fuck? But defensively, stopping the run. I mean, you had a bet on this game. What was the full bet that you had, or at the very least the Daniel Jones element of that bet?
Yeah, over 34.5 rushing yards, and I was basically just going off of the Titans game. And I mean, I guess if you want to compliment Jones on something, he's a decent rusher when he needs to be. So, but yeah, that didn't even happen yesterday. I think he had 25 yards at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, in a game where they were getting crushed, like, he had to keep dropping back in the pocket. And this is a guy, like, this is how exceptional all of this is. Daniel Jones, he is one of the best running quarterbacks in the NFL, just strictly with the ball, charging forward, nothing to do with the passing game. He's one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. He didn't do anything. He got sacked, 6 times or 4 times, and then Tyrod Taylor another 3? Like, nothing.
It's probably not by design either, because I don't think he's finding out there to throw to besides maybe Saquon on like a screenplay.
And that's it, too, for the Giants. They don't have the horses. So, like, he's sitting there. He's back in the pocket. He's getting absolutely crushed on the first drive of this game. I mean, that Josh Sweat sack right away was like, uh-oh, this could get really ugly fast. I mean, he was dominant on that rep. and then maybe the next play, maybe 2 plays later, there's another sack on Daniel Jones. They end up punting the ball. I mean, they had like one good play on the day, mostly. It was that first pass of the game, and then after that, they really didn't do shit that mattered because it was just such a lead. So you look at the whole game, and you just go, my God, they do everything right now. Like, to do it last week against Tennessee is one thing. To do it again against the Giants on the road is another, because now it's a trend. Like, you're looking at a team that's 12-1. They're playing the best football they've played all year. They're doing it in all 3 phases of the game, and they've done it in back-to-back weeks. I mean, holy shit. Like, we've talked about so much, and I'd love to know your take on this, T, but like, we've talked so much about the 3 teams and where all these tiers are, right? It's like, okay, for this whole season, it's the Eagles, it's the Bills, it's the Chiefs. Then there's been some other things that we've talked about here and there, like the Bengals have been kind of hot lately. I mean, the Eagles are clearly the best team in the NFL right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes didn't really have the greatest game yesterday with 3 interceptions. I mean, everybody seems to be off the Buffalo train. Like, it happened quick.
It did. It really fell apart, didn't it? Like, I don't know if it's just the Von Miller injury, and then people were like, okay, well, they've lost a couple of games, and now you've got this Von Miller. Because they lost to the Jets a couple of weeks ago, right? I know they beat them this week. But
yeah.
So you lose to the Jets a couple of weeks ago. Von Miller tears his ACL. Josh Allen's, he's looked a little bit more like the original Josh Allen, just in terms of turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, not just turnovers, like absolutely terrible interception turnovers, like clear as day, bad play interception.
Yeah. So people have got off the bandwagon. The Eagles are the best team in the league right now. And then there's a whole second tier below them. It's just them. Now, Dallas is on that second tier. I will not back down on this. I know what you're thinking. Dallas is still a tier 2 team. Absolutely get out of here. And really, we'll see with San Francisco. I got to go back and watch that game, dude. Your guy, Brock Purdy.
Brocktober. Yeah, baby.
Dude, what happened? Did you catch that game?
I did not, but I mean, I think any like just typical quarterback, like not like a Trey Lance, like running focused quarterback, I think it's just going to work in the Shanahan offense. Like, you got the weapons out there. You just need a really good game manager, which, I mean, that's pretty much what Jimmy G is at this point.
Yeah, no, that's totally what he is. So I'm curious to go back. I'm going to go watch that and get into San Francisco a little bit now, because that's the next team that's clearly on my radar. But man, everybody else sucks. Like, I thought the Bucs were starting to figure it out a little bit and come on back.
No.
God, they blow, man. That's a bad team. Like,
yeah, all their division games, they're terrible. The Saints game, it was just the one drive at the end. Like, they got nothing, especially with the run game. They got nothing.
No. And like, we can do this in the Discord, because this is one of the fascinating things to me when you think about the league a little bit. Because obviously, look, I'm eating all the shit for saying I wanted Russell Wilson over Jalen Hurts. I can take it. Turbo Mike in the Discord, thank you for trying to absolve me from punishment the rest of the way.
Over 20 points yesterday.
Yeah, he was rolling yesterday. Once they feed Marlon Mack, all right, and he gets a 64-yarder or whatever it is, and my universe combines, it finally works. But yeah, like, you try to absolve me from that. I appreciate you. Everybody else in the Discord was like, nah, fuck that. We're going after Vince. And that's fine. But like, think about this from like the Dolphins side, the Buccaneers side, because the Bucs, you end up with Tom Brady. He was going to leave. For the Dolphins, you were supposed to have Tom Brady, and it doesn't happen because, you're a bunch of scumbags and there's all these lawsuits and there's just a lot of baggage involved. Who would have thought before this season that Mike McDaniel and Tua would be a better pair than Tom Brady? Most likely, whatever's going on with Tom Brady, because all the personal shit, and Sean Payton. Like, would a Dolphins fan trade that right now, as bad as last night was?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, they were ready to get rid of Tua like halfway into his first season. Like, it was bad with Tua and Miami fans.
But he looks pretty good. I mean, look, again, he sucked last night, so I get it. But over the course of the season, like, you have to be so impressed with what he's been able to do over the course of the year. That offense is out of control good. They're a high-quality team. You had no idea what they were going to be. So, like, shit moves in all sorts of different ways, and you look around now and you go, okay, well, yeah, the Bucs clearly aren't it. You're looking at San Francisco and Dallas. They're the only teams that matter to me in the NFC, but the Eagles are a step above that, and you're on your way to the 1 seed. Vikings losing to the Lions yesterday, I totally saw that coming. I knew it was happening. What a fucking win, man. Like, how fun is it to see the Lions beat the Vikings and now the Eagles clear front runners for the number 1 spot?
Yeah, I feel like that's a game I want to rewatch the most. Just because, I mean, the Lions have been hanging in like a lot of their games. Like it's just their defense is there's nothing there, but they can score. They can score a lot.
Yeah, man. Ben Johnson's getting a head coaching job next year. That was the offensive coordinator for the Lions.
Yeah.
If you don't think he's getting hired, I mean, you're out of your damn mind. He's been amazing. So a lot of good things going on there. But most importantly, a lot of good things going on here. I mean, again, back-to-back, absolutely dominant wins for the Eagles. You got Chicago this week, which, like, Justin Fields is super good and super fun, but the Bears suck. I mean, this should be a runaway game. So we'll see where all of it goes. Maybe there's shitty weather or something like that makes it a little more interesting.
Back-to-back road games, something to note, too.
Yeah, true. So we'll get into that a little bit more later this week. But right now, back-to-back wins. You're in the cruise control for the number 1 seed. The only game that really matters the rest of the way is Christmas Eve against Dallas. It's going to be incredibly fun. Again, John will yell at me about Dallas tomorrow when we get together. So in the meantime, appreciate everybody for checking out today. And if you want to get in on the Discord, bellandthebirdmen.com is how you can join. You can also text us 215-509-5833. Shout out to Liquid Death. I had somebody on my bus yesterday with Philly Sports Trips. As we were coming back from the game, they saw me wearing the Bell and the Birdmen hoodie and said something to me about Liquid Death. So shout out to you, sir. Thank you for being on bus 3. I personally gave that guy like 6 beers yesterday as I was on the bus. I was just handing them out like crazy. So him and his buddies were having a good time. But if you haven't been drinking your Liquid Death and you want to know where to find it, liquiddeath.com/bell. It'll tell you everywhere that it's sold. So go check that out. And again, check us out tomorrow, baby. We will be back. John Barchard will be in the house. In the meantime, Taylor Kredatus, nice to have a camera on your beautiful face, sir. And we will talk to you tomorrow, folks. Peace.